Can I pay you on a frequent basis for custom feet pics? Hey guys, Brad here to do a special little video where I respond to some of your questions you sent me in for this Q&A, some of which are kinda unhinged, kinda creepy, or interesting. I solicited these over on my Instagram page, so do head over there and join me on that profile as well. So the next time I do one of these, you can post your questions for me. You can also just drop your question in the comments on this YouTube video or Facebook video, and I'll look there for comments and questions as well. If you're new here, I'm Brad Polumbo. I cover everything that's crazy and going on the internet and in the LGBT community, all from a center-right, rational perspective. If you enjoy this video, do consider subscribing and sticking around, and like and comment with your thoughts or with your question for next time. Now, let's see what you guys had to ask me about. Are pineapples on pizza criminal? You know, I really don't have that strong feelings about Hawaiian pizza. I know it gets everybody all worked up. I've always thought it was okay, but if I'm having pizza, it's just not something I would ever order. I love a classic pepperoni, or if I want a specialty pizza, I'd go for a buffalo chicken drizzled with some blue cheese. Oh, we align pretty closely socially and politically, so what's your favorite holiday tradition / activity? I'm actually really into gift giving, so I really like that part about Christmas. Not so much receiving gifts, I guess that's nice, but I'm pretty good at picking out gifts for people, and I do enjoy that, especially getting something custom or sentimental or some sort of like inside joke or connection. So I would say that's probably it. I also love Thanksgiving food and pie, so that's a tradition that I'm always here for. Why are you such a Oh, that one is from my sister. How's life generally? Honestly, really good. I genuinely enjoy what I do for work, whether it's writing articles or making videos or doing debates or going on TV. So it can be a lot of work sometimes, but honestly, when you actually enjoy it, it's so much easier to get up and do it every day. And while the weather is starting to get kind of dreary here in Michigan with the winter, I do have some fun stuff going on, like my soccer leagues and other things that I do around town. And having both Reggie and my boyfriend in my life makes everything, honestly, just a lot more easier. Who would you love to interview / debate that has opposing views as you? I would love to interview or debate AOC. She's just kind of the archetype of what I think is wrong with how my generation approaches politics. On the surface level, the assumptions and worldviews that are baked into their beliefs. And I actually think a lot of her beliefs would really evaporate under scrutiny. But people like her, and people on the right do this too, to be fair, but they tend to avoid actual interviews or debates that aren't very friendly because they know if anyone ever gives them some hard questions, they might look dumb. Do you like eating glue? I do. Hoping that one's a joke, and if it's not, you should probably seek help. Would you ever consider modeling your feet? I don't think there would be much demand for modeling my feet because I have size 14 feet that are pretty ugly with some gross flat foot going on as well. So who there would be out there that would want me to model that for them? Not sure. Do your facial muscles ever get tired? So I'm assuming this person is asking that because I make kind of exaggerated responses with my facial expressions, some of which is for the camera, right? It makes for good content, but some of which is actually just how I've always been. I have always, ever since I was really young, been an open book, unable to separate, my facial expressions from what I'm thinking or feeling. I would even get into trouble sometimes during high school basketball or other things because my face would betray my emotions so much that the coach or the ref would feel I was being disrespectful with how I responded to something they said. I don't go around going like this in real life, so no, my facial muscles don't get tired. Have you ever gotten a hate comment that made you burst out laughing? Yes, I definitely have, because some of my haters are actually kind of clever, and that's why I do those videos from time to time reacting to hate comments that I do find funny or amusing. So I did one of those not too long ago. I'll link to it so you guys can watch that after this if you're interested. How do you maintain work-life balance? Not amazingly, to be honest, especially with what I do. Sometimes I'll have to write an article or make a video on something while it's hot, and that might mean working late at night or working on the weekends. But at the same time, I'm a creator and run my own nonprofit, so it's not like I have to work at certain hours. I can be flexible and take time off in the afternoon to go to the gym or go to a family event or hang out with a friend or do stuff like that. So I would say that's how I try. And then I also try to turn off my phone and turn off social media entirely. Like I literally boot down my iPhone for hours at a time when I'm out for dinner with my boyfriend or seeing family or seeing friends, so that I can completely tune out the distractions. Because if you kind of just let it linger there in the back of your mind and you're always like wanting to check and see what are people saying about me, blah, 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 you will not be able to do this. It will drive you crazy and you won't maintain any work-life balance. So I try, but it is hard doing what I do to maintain that balance. Do you have any advice for those of us with apolitical significant others? Yeah, I do. My boyfriend is very apolitical. He's a doctor. He never worked in politics. That's not how we met. That's not the background that we're in. And frankly, I think that's honestly best, because when you are somebody who does politics like I do for a living, it can be nice to have a partner who isn't in that world, so you can kind of unplug and step away when you're with them. So my advice would just be to make sure that you can talk about things, but you're also capable of disagreeing and just agreeing to disagree, and that you're okay at listening, even if they're saying something that you don't agree with, and listening, not just thinking, well, what am I about to say? How am I going to prove them wrong? Just listening is a very important skill. Then also try to develop hobbies and activities that you have in common interests that have nothing to do with politics. Do you think Biden is still fit for president? I'm not sure I thought Biden was ever fit to be president, but no. Based on all the videos I've seen and the word salad stumbles and everything else, I do not think he should be president. I think he's way too old. I think he's abused his power in too many ways to count, and I absolutely do not think he is fit. But the unfortunate reality is that the GOP is not exactly putting up amazing and appealing alternatives. Can I pay you on a frequent basis for custom feet pics? Oh, of course not. What a ridiculous question. Well, okay, how much money are we talking about? No, I wouldn't do it. I do want to know, so I get anybody who has an internet personality and is anything more than a 4 gets frequent requests either to be somebody's sugar baby or to send feet pics or whatever. And I would never really do any of it, but sometimes I have to admit this, I do like to ask how much they're offering just to know how much they value it. Like, how much am I worth? I've had some people be like $50 and I'm like, oh, rude. Then I've had some people offer like $500, which that's not bad for a few minutes work. No, sorry, I won't be doing that kind of content anytime soon. What are your future plans for your career? Do you plan to run for any offices? Honestly, what the future holds is hard to say. For a while, I thought that I might want to run for office one day, like maybe the state house or maybe Congress or something. But what I've come to realize working in politics is that these people actually have a lot less power than you think. Especially at the national level, almost all the power is held by a few people in leadership, and everyone else is essentially just a figurehead who votes yes or no, but really what bills get passed, what bills get a vote, what happens in Congress is all controlled by just a few powerful people in leadership. So unless you're one of those, and you're only going to become one of those by being shady and corrupt and sucking up to powerful interests and donors, I'm not sure it's really worth it. It's not worth all the slings and arrows. I also think you can actually have an enormous influence on politics by being an outside media presence or commentator or influencer. Someone like Tucker Carlson, whether you love him or hate him, he has a huge impact, especially when he still had his Fox News show, on how Republican politicians vote and behave, probably making him more influential than most of the politicians in the GOP, except the ones at the very top. So maybe something like that one day, where I'm not in politics, but I'm adjacent to it and wielding influence or an audience that I've built over the years to shape it and advance my ideas. Something like that would probably be my dream career destination. But who knows? We'll have to see how it all pans out, because you really never know. Thoughts on Bitcoin? Have you ever discussed before? Yeah, I have discussed Bitcoin and written a little bit about the economics of cryptocurrency. I would say I'm generally a fan, although never put all your eggs in one basket, right? But I like the idea of a monetary system or policy that is immune from government control, immune from inflation, right? We saw during the pandemic what happens when the government prints trillions of dollars out of thin air, causes inflation that makes us all poorer, and we all have to bear the consequences of that. having a different currency that nobody can inflate because the supply is beyond anyone's control, that is appealing to me. I think there's some value with that. So I think it's really interesting. I'm looking forward to see where cryptocurrency evolves and where it goes. But yeah, I'm not somebody who wants to see it regulated or shut down in any way. So people should be careful and always be weighing the risks of any investment or big purchase. Yeah, I absolutely think that's something where the market can innovate and provide real value. All right, guys, those are all the comments you sent me for this round. I will actually drop a link to my Instagram in the description, so you can go follow me on there. And then the next time I do one of these, you'll get the chance to submit your question to me on there. You can also drop your questions to me in the comment section of this video on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you're watching me right now. Some of you might be on Rumble, actually. But yeah, I do want to hear from you guys. I love this audience I've been building. Some of you guys, you're from all over the political spectrum, all different walks of life, really interesting people. And so I try to respond to comments when I can, but at this point, there's so many thousands of them that I can't keep up, but I do often read them. So I appreciate the nice notes you guys send me, the thoughts you leave in the comments. And I do want to, connect and hear what you guys have to say, what you want me to talk more about. So please do drop me a line on Instagram or comment below and let me know what you'd like me to talk about in the next time I do one of these videos. With that, if you enjoyed this, and if you're still at this point in the video, let's be honest, you probably enjoyed it, do drop a like, do comment, do consider subscribing, yada, 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 and I'll see you all next time. If you want more of my content and you're not sick of me yet, you can go here to check out a video of me reacting to the funniest and creepiest hate comments that I've gotten on this website.